the mayoral candidates. I think, well, obviously Conley was on the council, but I do think there will be, a different relationship. Menino, pretty much held all the cards, and in the strong mayor form of government, the mayor does.
Right.
But he was, if I must say it, a real control freak, and some people think the city was better for it, but that's the reality. So the council was kind of left to kind of pick up the little pieces sometimes.
But you know what? There's some interesting names on that 5th to 8th slot. You've got Martin Keogh. You've got Jeff Ross from the LGBT community. You've got Anissa George, who I met recently at the Brighton Day Parade. You've got Jack Kelly, once again, another recovering folk in the recovery community and that sort of thing. So you've got some good, new, fresh faces, some up-and-comers that really have got something to say, and their messages seem to have resonated with the electorate.
Well, if they hear them.
Right, because again, name recognition goes a long way, and again, there's no real attention beyond sort of the top 4 or 5 candidates. And Michelle Wu got a big bump, obviously, by working with Elizabeth Warren and was able to.
But she also got out early, kind of like what Conley did.
Got out early.
While the mayor was still in office, he jumped out. She jumped out early also when those 2 slots were still filled with incumbents. I'm talking about the citywide slots were still covered. I mean, filled.
Plus, she appeared on Talking the Neighborhoods.
Well, there
it is. Well,
pretty much.
That's the star-making show. Well, you know what? Come on.
American Idol.
Right?
Somewhere.
Don't even go.
And last night he had on the treasurer. So, hey, it's a done deal. Steve, you know what, you guys, don't even run for governor. Stevie was on Talking to Neighborhoods. He's the new governor, come on.
I knew that was really open the door.
Yeah.
But, there's going to be some good city council races, too, coming up. I mean, the Tito Jackson, that's not as a lock as you think it is. I mean,
you've got Roy Owens who runs, but you've got Jamal Crawford who's going to do a write-in campaign. The tough thing is that write-in candidates, that's really, really, really tough work right there. Now Jamal can get out there and really advocate and really pound the issues that he thinks are of importance to that district. That I'm assuming that he thinks Tito is not really, pounding. But and I think at the end of the day, that's probably a good thing for that community to get those issues out there. Yeah. That's going to be tough. But then you've got the folks up in Robbie's district, McCarthy and Jean-Claude Sinone, which came out of the blue. I expected maybe Mimi Turchinitz coming in the second spot there.
I think that's a very interesting race to watch because that's a the Haitian American community has been active and has obviously Marie St. Fleur elected Linda Dorsina Flory. I mean, there's some history there and some activism there, and it will be very interesting to see.
Who didn't do as well was Ava Callender.
She came in 4th. But here's the thing about Ava, and I had an opportunity to sit with her and talk to her. She's also an up-and-comer, 25 years old. Yeah. She's in law school now. I think this was good for her to get out there, get her feet wet. She's the granddaughter of Willie Mae Allen, who's a stalwart up in that community. So I think we're going to see her again and hear some really good things coming out of her.
Yeah, and it's always nice. I talked with her and interviewed her, and to see a 25-year-old. We talk about the apathy and the folks that don't show up, but we really need to get out there and support the folks that do want to raise their hand up and actually run for office.
And she actually wants to.
And she's done it. She says she grew up in politics.
It'll be interesting to see where those votes go.
Right. So LaMontina will probably keep his seat, no doubt. He had 73% of the vote. Charles Yancey, 65% of the vote. He probably keeps his seat.
Suzanne Lee.
Now that's going to be an interesting one. So it's just the 2 of them, so they didn't have this runoff.
There was no runoff.
But what do you think? What do you think of the Suzanne Lee, Bill Linehan thing? Because she lost by what, 90, 100 votes?
90 votes. It was. I think it's, I think Bill could lose this. But I also know he is working it like he never did before.
Okay.
And including, areas of the South End, That said, he keeps kind of shooting himself in the foot.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, to suggest that Linda Dorsina Flory should not be the
I think that was unless he was somehow trying to galvanize the South Boston community, but he already had that vote. So why, at least
that may have backfired on him and gives Suzanne Lee something to talk about.
Right. Because you can run against. Look, we still have Archie Bunker in the city council, and here he is, and he's still on the wrong side of these issues. And 78 votes, and I don't know where all the redistricting. I know there was an attempt that he wanted to write those folks who voted for Lee out of the district, and that was unsuccessful.
Yeah, that
so I don't know.
That didn't work well. Yeah.
And so all those sort of factors come in. I think that's going to be a close race. I think Lee edges out at the end.
Yeah. What do you think about Zachem versus Nichols for that seat down there? That look like Josh?
Race is over.
Done.
Yeah, I mean, he got 45% vote.
He did, right.
But,
and Nichols 27%.
Unless he steps on his foot.
Yeah.
It's possible. No, I do not know the young man, but many
I've heard
people
good things about him.
Never
think highly of him.
Zachem's son.
Lenny Zachem's son.
Yeah,
okay. So he's a legendary. The name is. Every time you drive across that bridge. Right?
Exactly. Nice bridge too.
Yeah.
A nice bridge. With a nice. A photo of you?
Of the bridge.
Oh, I thought a photo of you on the bridge.
Over here, Steve.
Yeah.
Over here.
Speaking of the bridge, let's take the bridge for the, I think there's going to be a ballot initiative talking about the casinos. And that's going to be a vote, I believe, whether or not it should be a citywide or an Eastie-only vote. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't want to preach, but that whole issue of the casinos, I'm not a big gambling guy, so that doesn't really, unless it affected me. So East Boston, I don't know, but I do definitely think it should be a citywide vote because that's going to have ramifications throughout the city. Mm-hmm. Everybody should, talk about that. I mean, why just have it in just East Boston?
What do you think, Joe?
Well, the Globe weighed in on it today with an editorial, which I thought was interesting. Matt O'Malley, the District 6 councilor, has put forth an amendment which would essentially say if the citywide voted for the casino, but East Boston, in their vote totals, opposed the casino, that it would give them a veto over it. So they wouldn't be forced to take the casino if they didn't want it. Mm-hmm. Fact of the matter is, I think will probably pass in East Boston as well. I will say this, because I've had these people on the show. There are some people over there that are working very hard to defeat it. Yeah. And so I don't think I think Suffolk Downs would be foolish to take it for granted. I'll tell you that. But it's a tremendous amount of money they're offering. It's
30. But I don't know about whether those numbers are true or not.
Well, whether it's 30 million or even if it's 10 million, that's a tremendous amount of money that potentially could be invested. And it's tough to work against that, especially that neighborhood who's been wanting various things to kind of mitigate impacts, traffic, noise, you name it, for a long time.
Yeah. Well, listen, man, I mean, the thing about that is that I've never been a big proponent of any municipality surviving on casinos and gambling, but it's here. It's here, it's come, it's going to be here to stay. And, I just hope that that money that comes in, I would hope a good percentage of it really is directed at, folks that are going to be on the downside of the folks that get addicted, folks that have problems with the gambling, and that they really pay attention to that, because that's going to be a huge, huge issue, and that's huge for us at the Sheriff's Department. That's huge for our health facilities, folks that can be compromised. But it's coming, it's here, and we'll find out, So November 5th, it's right around the corner, guys. We got about 60 seconds left.
Again?
Any final thoughts? Any final thoughts about what's going to happen?
Change your picks now. Now you take Conley and I'll take Walsh.
But I'm talking about. Talk to me about the city in and of itself. With all of this new, fresh, young, vibrant talent that's presented itself. What's your thoughts? What is, Joe, real quick to you?
The next generation has come of age, and I think it's all good things. And if the economy does continue to pick up, I think there's so many places to go and things to do coming Boston's way. I see all good things.
Yeah, and you talked about the bridges. I think of this new wave of politicians that are coming in that have not only the benefit of their own sort of wherewithal and intelligence, but they also have the benefit of folks that have been around for a long time that they will definitely seek out. I mean, no matter how looming Mayor Menino is and will remain to be, he's still a factor in the city, and I think that's a good sort of person to have in a corner that you can always consult with. So, yes, it's a new generation, but they're going to be under close watch.
Hey guys, we're out of time. I really appreciate you coming on and having this conversation.
Yeah,
so it's going to be fun watching what the next 6 weeks, and we'll circle back after and let's do it all again.
All right, absolutely. Love to.
Cool. All right, folks, look, that's it. We're out of time. We're out of here. This was a lot of fun. So fasten your seatbelts. We're off and flying into the next 6 weeks, and that election is really important. So I believe Howard said only 30% came out in the primary to vote. We need much, much more of you to come out really and do your civic duty. So please do. You take care. We'll see you again. Peace.